Yes.
Your wife is your business partner.
Yes.
You've talked about that,
Yeah.
Sheena. So let's get into that a little bit. So when your wife is your business partner, how do you manage the wife side of things versus the business side of things? Like, how does the marriage work and the business work? Explain that.
So there's 4 or 5 major tasks at our level that has to get done no matter what. Actually 5. She takes 2, I take 2. We overlap on 1.
Okay.
So she has her role. And if you go to our office, she's got one side of the office all the way down the hallways, then my outside office. So there's space, right?
Okay. So what are those 5 things?
I'm in charge of recruitment and leadership development.
On the business, you're saying?
On the business side of things.
Okay.
I'm in charge of making sure that the marketing side of things are flowing, and she's in charge of the one. So I'm the one to many, and she's got a lot of the one-to-one goals because that's what she excels in. So she's a better life insurance agent than I ever was, and she's a better one-on-one mentor to a lot of people. I tend to mentor in small groups or large audiences. Sheena gets really nervous when it comes to that. Like if she, I want her to come into the podcast, she was like, I can't do the podcast.
Really?
Like she freaks out.
But I've heard her speak before. She's
I know.
Very good.
You should see what she has to do in backstage just to get ready for that talk. She is so nervous.
Really?
Yeah. Even for a Zoom.
So it doesn't come natural.
It doesn't come natural.
But when she's on, it doesn't seem like that. Okay.
Yeah.
So you guys each have your roles. What's the one that overlaps?
Onboarding new associates.
Okay.
So because we want to make sure they get both sides of our culture. If anybody needs help, we overlap on that area. She's busy, and I'm not, and we overlap there.
But so that's on the business side of things. But the question was, how do you make the business and the marriage work? Because if you were just business partners, cool, great, awesome. But now you got to go home with that person.
So here it is.
So how does that work?
Sometimes in a business, because we're partners, she wants to talk to me like she's right. She's like tell me what to do.
Okay.
Right? Like, babe, listen.
Your eyes just got real wide right now. What's up?
Hey, I ain't one of these associates.
I ain't that dude, baby. I ain't that dude, baby.
Not today.
Yeah.
Right? And so I said, hey, sweetheart, you got 2 options here. You want to talk to the fool in me? You'll get the fool. You want to talk to the king in me? You'll get the king. What do you want?
You say this to her.
I say that to her.
Wow. Please say that again. And audience, listen up here. You say this to your wife. Say it again.
At this very moment, you want to talk to the fool in me? You'll get the fool. You want to talk to the king in me? You'll get the king. What do you want?
I want the king.
There you go. There you go. So,
yes, I do.
So let's go ahead and rephrase that question.
Yes. You say this.
Let's rephrase that question.
Okay.
Because to me, like you're saying, because men, we tend to take L's. And the people we take the most amount of sensitivity to is the woman closest to our heart.
Of course.
Direct to our spirit. Like we can take an L from some troll or some competitor, whatever the case may be. But for my wife, my girl, if she says something, that has a potential. It's catastrophic.
Yeah.
Because she's so close to my heart.
Of course.
But to make it work, you just have to have some clear expectations and draw the line. If we got to deal with something, listen, we're not going to talk about it at work. We're not going to talk about it in front of our associates in the boardroom. We'll talk about it at lunch when we go to lunch together. We'll talk about it when we get home, when we have a break throughout the day.
What does she ever say to you and says, all right, buddy, you want to talk to the fool in me? You want to talk to the queen in me? Like, does she come back and hit you with the taste of your own medicine if you talk to her?
She says time out.
What does she say?
She goes, that's it, time out. I'm like, that's her safe word.
Gotcha. Time out.
Time out. I'm like,
for me, it's pineapple, but okay. But safe word.
The thing is, I want to add on is the leadership qualities that you show with your wife. She's going to be responsive with them due to the fact, entrepreneur, businessman, no matter how it is. But when she shows you her
moxie,
I guess you could say, it's more like, hey,
slow down,
calm down. So that's at that point, we could say it could somewhat be a conflict.
It sure is.
It could be somewhere a conflict. So you going into a business partnership with your wife could be pretty.
It's hairy.
It could be.
We make the saying that we've been married for 7 years, in business for 8. So in other words, we have 21 years of arguments under our belt because we're together every day. So we just compressed time frames. We've had the arguments that people married for 20 years have had in 8 years of being together running a business.
Okay.
Yeah.
By the way, you're in crypto. Is your boyfriend also in crypto?
Yeah, he's also.
Do you guys work together?
We do work together.
So how does that work?
It works great. I know what he's good at. He knows what I'm good at, and the same thing with us. We have the same common goal as well: onboarding people.
So when Matt says like, "This is how," because Matt, how long you been with your boyfriend, by the way?
7 months.
Okay, so it's very new.
Very new.
This is 20 years, well, packaged up. So when Matt says, look, there's rules, there's king, there's queens, there's fools, there's this, what are you taking from that? Are you like, oh, that's a good point. I got to use that in my relationship and in my business? How does that work for you?
It works great because, again, I listen to people like Matt, and, you know, I have those as type of my mentors because they clearly know how it's done. They've been doing it for so long. So, of course, I'm going to learn from them and listen to what they're saying, actually.
Is it wife first, then business partner?
Yeah.
Is it business partner first, then wife?
It's
Is it 50-50? How does it work?
Wife.
First. Not
Because
even
we
a
leave the
question.
office, we leave the business at home, but I sleep with you.
Yeah.
I have sex with you. You know?
Yeah. You don't have sex with the business anymore?
We have different ways to screw it.
Okay.
Different-
And for you, how does that work?
It works pretty well. I mean,
first,
we work together.
then business partner, or
Yeah. Boyfriend first.
Okay.
Because everything, I mean, it started from being a boyfriend, girlfriend, and
got
then
it.
the rest.
And you think that's the best approach? Wife first, business partner, because that's the most.
just
important.
just being able to have
course.
honor. And then if there's one that breaks those rules, it's me over Sheena. I'm worse at it because
How?
I'm just like, you know, you know Sheena's person. She's a little bit more calm, more
Yeah.
structured. You know, she's more
Kind of stoic with it.
Yeah, correct. Me,
Yeah.
you know, and that sometimes is the detriment of me. And
Why?
sometimes
Why is that a detriment?
Because sometimes I say things I regret. Right.
In business, in life, to her.
And to her.
Like, would you reveal what do you mean?
You know,
you don't have to say exactly, but like, what do you mean? Like you regret?
things that because it's such a knee-jerk reaction to me.
Yeah.
Because she is so close to me and I'm so sensitive to her.
Yeah.
Sometimes I knee-jerk reaction to her more readily.
Yeah.
Sometimes than an associate or partner or Patrick.
Yeah.
At the office, I won't knee-jerk Patrick. I'll think
Right.
about what I have to say to him. Sometimes, to my detriment, I'll knee-jerk reaction to my wife, and she doesn't deserve it.
And then walk us through that. If you're like, I'm just gonna make that. Shut up, babe. I'm busy.
Yeah, that's why she says time out.
She's like, hold on. buddy."
You're crossing the line.
Yeah.
You're like, damn,
And how often you get put in timeout?
all the time, all the time.
But it's important to have that dialogue where it's
Yeah.
like, cool, that's the safe word. Timeout. Okay, let's regroup.
Yeah.
And does that automatically trigger like a Pavlovian response? Okay.
Yeah.
Timeout means act on your better behavior.
Yeah,
Right.
and right away
Okay.
she started doing that, and I'm like thinking to myself right away, like, damn, what an asshole you are.
So when timeout comes up, you know that you.
And I
took
started
an
thinking
out.
about my daughters. I started thinking about my mom because I would never talk to my mom that way. I'd never talk to my daughters that way. She's actually reminded me of that. I've heard you get some intense conversations. I got 21-year-olds.
Yeah.
You know, I got to talk about dress and attire and,
Yeah.
going on. They just turned 21. I said, this is
Crazy.
the way you handle it going out.
They might even have their first drink this weekend.
Yeah,
from what I
well, we did
understand.
officially a
Yes,
couple
I
weeks
saw
ago.
that. Okay.
You're right.
Congrats. Well, you seems like you're handling it the right way.